Tell me just a little bit about, like where you were born and when you first started playing the guitar and, just a little sort of, in general, biographical information about yourself.
Oh, well, I was born at small of Andros, Ireland. Small of Andros, Ireland.
On Andros? And that's,
Yeah, small of Andros.
and like when you were, how old were you when you first started playing the guitar? I mean, did you,
Well, when I first started, I was around 14 years of age, 14 years. That's when I first started playing. I remember that quite well. When I was around 14 years, I was just trying practicing to myself to play the guitar. Yeah, I keep on, so tell I practice my own self and, develop my own self in playing the guitar. Yeah.
like when on Andros, were there any other people older than you that had a guitar? Is that,
Yeah.
how did you first hear the guitar?
Yeah. He was plenty older fellas, old men. Plenty old men had their instruments, guitar instruments, and they used to play. But those days they used to play C chord, and then they used
C chord, in other words, they wouldn't have
Yeah.
that string tuned.
No,
They'd have it tuned up.
they didn't. They don't play much in this chord. They play most in this chord. See, that's the chord they used to play, and then it's to play plenty right, pick, just pick your
Did you ever play much in this particular
And no,
key of C
in
right
those
here?
days when I was learning this, the most key, this was my favorite chord, C.
C?
But after I throw it down now for many years, I don't bother with it so much now. Most I admire D major. Yeah, see, that's why I play that chord. I admire D major chord all the time.
So this,
So C and F and G and them, I don't play them chords much now. But in those days, I play a little everything, C, G, F, E, all the E chord, all them chords I should play, but I don't put them down so long now, and I just love this D major chord.
yeah.
And then most of the fellas them can't play it, because this man has started, but you can't get out some song in the right way as you're supposed to get it out
Yeah.
in the same chord. You see, it's a tough chord if you don't know how to play it.
When the other people there on Andros, when the older folks that played the guitar, when they would play in the key of D, would they tune this string down like you do too, or did they just keep it tuned the same?
They turn it down.
They tune it
They
down.
turn it down, you see, but now, I believe I think in these days, fellas, if they play in D, it turns just like how I have it now in C chord. They C with me, you see, but they hold the key of D chord and they say they're playing in D, but now we put, in the olden days, we usually put the bass down.
Right.
The old folks them, and we play the whole key of D just like that, you see.
Right.
Where those other fella hold the book chord and
Yeah, bar chord,
do it
right.
in D, and but now we play strictly D right throughout, you see.
Like your family, were there any other members like your family, your mother, your father that were musical, that sort of got you started in, or did your father play anything?
Yeah, my father was a concertina player.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just a concertina player. Yeah, and then my uncle was a flute player, 32-key flute player. He used to play this flute.
And all these people, did your uncles and all, did they all live on Andros too, right?
Yeah, on Andros too, yeah. Yeah, he lived on Andros too.
So like when you first started playing, did you first start picking with your fingers, or were there any of the people that played back then that used picks, or did they all pick with their fingers the way you
No,
did?
well, those days we picked with our lone finger, yeah, bare finger, you see?
Yeah.
Picked with our bare finger. After a while, I would get in touch with these thumb pick, and I practice with these.
Yeah.
That's how I get to play with the thumb pick.
Yeah.
But I used to play with my lone bare finger.
And it saves your fingers, your
Yeah,
thumb there,
yeah.
to pick with that kind of a pick.
Yeah,
Like
see with
that.
these other fingers, yeah, I play with the nails.
Yeah.
Now this big thumb got a twin cross here. I play the nail with that. I won't have to use no thumb pick. That would have been my thumb pick, my fingernail.
Right.
You see, but now I use that to correspond my fingernails. I pick with my fingernails.
So when you're picking with your fingers, you're using your thumb, and how many fingers are you picking with?
3.
You're using 3 fingers and a thumb.
Yeah. 3 fingers. But then, olden days, fellas used to pick with 2 fingers, you know. 2 fingers, but I practice myself with 3 fingers. I learned myself fast, everything with these.
Yeah.
I find my own chord, the D major chord, everything we see in that, no one shows me that. I pick up that right off my own self.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like when you first started playing, you said you started picking up the guitar back when you were about 14 years old.
Yeah.
What kind of music were you playing on the guitar back then?
Then C and C chord.
C chord.
C chord. Yeah.
Were there certain kinds of songs that you were playing back then, like
yeah,
religious songs,
yeah.
or were you playing some of the old traditional songs? Or?
In those days, I and my uncle used to keep dance as a drill then, you know. But now, I probably forget all of them chords now when I was a kid. See, I used to keep dance, me and my uncle. And I used to play for him. He blew his flute. Then we had other fellas with a drum and different instruments, you know.